Welcome to the main transmission of World News Day, everyone's news. Today we will have a special edition in which we will recall some of the most important events of the 80s, a decade very special for many and sad for others. We started this transmission with my partner Andrea Hoyos, who will share with us two technological events that we must highlight the decade. Andrea, we continue with you.
Good morning. I am Camila Salguero. In this moment, I am going to talk about of two important discoveries of technology on the 80 decades. First, was IBM launches the first personal computer on August 12, 1981. IBM in particular and computer in general was created by a team of engineers and designers under the leadership of Ernest Streich and William C. They accomplished one of the greatest feats of the computer age. With the commercialization of the personal computer ceased to be a hidden and mysterious science without any meaning for most to become a practical utility that would later make us depend on it. Its success was so resounding that it also revolutionized the computer market and definitively installed the term personal computer in popular language as a synonym for personal computer, that is a computer intended for commercial and domestic use that did not require large technicians and knowledge for use. The first IBM went on sale with a price of $1565, being somewhat expensive for the mass consumer but accessible for companies that incorporate the new personal computer into their offices. The second discover was the birth of the World Wide Web, the Great World Web. By the late 1980s, the interconnection of thousands of local area networks had made the internet the largest data warehouse ever, but also the most chaotic. Had its originals in 1989 at European Center of Nuclear Research, located in Geneva, Switzerland, in circumstances in which the British researcher Tim Berners-Lee was dedicated to finding an effective solution to the problem of proliferation and heterogeneity of the information available in the net. Under this first, Berners-Lee managed to develop a fast and efficient model to exchange data thanks to the application of two existing tools, Hypertext and the TCP/IP protocol. The web makes it possible for everyone to have access to the internet, since its inventor promotes the distribution of information in an intuitive and egalitarian way. However, the success for the so-called father of the web came until 1990. With the appearance of browsers, but not Welch, as he decides not to patent his invention since if he had created a company called Web Incorporated, the World Wide Web would have become just another proprietary system and not have achieved universalization as it's now. Tim Berners-Lee mentioned in an interview published in 1997.
Alright, was Andrea de Hoyos sharing some technological events from the 80s. Now follow Camila, who will share a little of what happened in science in that decade.
It's with African origins and discovered in the early 1980s. In the UNS, HIV is estimated to have killed between 25 and 35 million people. Although initially dubbed gay cancer for severely affecting the gay community, the medical world soon warned of a global threat. The virus manifests itself through infection and at levels encephalitis, pneumonia that can affect all organs, and that explains that during the first year survival was at average of 3 years, explained Emery Moulin, director of the National Center for Scientific Research of France. To continue, we will talk about Sally. Sally Ride. She was an American physicist and NASA astronaut in 1983, became the first American woman to reach outer space. She also became a professional tennis player in her country. Sally was a young woman in her early 25 with a brilliant academic resume, her which she came across the opportunity of a lifetime. NASA had published an ad in a newspaper suing people for its space program. Sally signed up for the ad alone with nearly 9,000 applicants. She was one of the chosen those in 1917 age Sally entered NASA and began a successful career in the world of space aviation.
Thank you very much, Camila. For my part, here in studio, I will share two more events of the utmost importance of this decade. The first is in the field of sports. Between 1900 and 1984, something unexpected happened for many in the world. There were two major boycotts at the Olympic Games of the decade in the context of the Cold War. The 1980 Summer Olympic Games were held in Moscow, United States, as a result of the Soviet presence in the Afghanistan war, proceeded to boycott the Games, where along with the United States, another 65 countries abstained from participating in the Games, causing the lowest percent of countries since the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne. Other countries such as Australia and United Kingdom let their athletes participate under the Olympic flag. The second event is in the Colombian education field. In higher education, the reform of higher education is made concrete through Decree Law 80 of the 1980, which will be subject of later analysis. The program encouraged the reorientation of educational resources, prioritizing basic education through the universalization of education for children, young, and adults.